Next update. And in Washington, Reza Pahlavi, Iran's exiled crown prince, discussed India-Iran relations and future cooperation during a recent news conference. He highlighted the long-standing historical and cultural ties between the two nations, recalling former Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's visit to Iran. Pahlavi emphasized that a democratic Iran would seek partnerships with countries that value sovereignty and liberty, with India being a neutral ally due to its expertise in technology, renewable energy and IT. Pahlavi expressed hope that once Iran is free, a new chapter of coordination with India would begin. He also supported the ongoing anti-government protests in Iran, which started over economic distress and have expanded into calls for political change and the end of the theocratic system. Of course, we are once again joined by Lieutenant Himanshi. Reza Pahlavi, the son of the ousted Shah of 1979, he spent most of his life growing up in the United States, but hasn't stopped advocating for a secular and democratic Iran. But he does have no formal political base inside of the country. How realistic is his claim of shaping Iran's future in the way that he speaks about it?
Thomas, in view of the ongoing crisis in Iran, somebody has to fill in the gap once it is created. Because the kind of unrest we see in Iran, most probably this Khamenei government will collapse. So when Reza Pahlavi, he reaches out in a press conference to India, I think he's looking for a legitimacy in global south. And this kind of meet, and the press conference, it gives a signal to the world that he is ready to take on the regime once the US interferes or the thing collapses. But the most beautiful thing that has happened for my country is that India has invested heavily in Iran, in Chahabar port. So once, if he comes into power, though we have very good relations with the Iran government as of now also. So any government which comes in place of this government, and if a signal like this is given as per the Cyprus Accord, which happened in pre-1979 history, it's a welcome change, because what he's trying to show that the relationship is civilizational rather than just a transactional. So he's trying to align himself by India's desire for the global and regional stability and counter terrorism. So what he's trying to say to India is that let's have a very peaceful governance in Iran. And it's a welcome thing if he comes to, because India is already facing a lot of challenges in terms of energy. So if any government or future government is trying to give this kind of assurance, it's a welcome change for India.
Of course, just very briefly, India does still continue trade with Iran. From the year 24 to 25, roughly 1.6 to 1.7 billion traded between both of the countries. Donald Trump, of course, has announced an additional 25% tariff on countries who do, in fact, still maintain trade with Iran. Are you concerned that India is going to get hit with another tertiary US tariff from the Trump administration?
You're right. It's a very beautiful question, Thomas, because any tariff which is beyond 15 to 20%, after that you put 25, 50, 100, 500, the business becomes unfeasible. So if the Trump government, it puts any tariff beyond 15%, as it is, India is going to struggle. So if we continue to do trade with Iran, we are going to pay 75% tariff, which is very, very bad. So when he is trying to speak to the Indian government directly, it's a pure strategy. He's speaking directly to Indian leadership in Psyche by invoking Asian connections. He's trying to say that, okay, fine, it is not a 47-year-old interruption. Our relationship goes back to ages. So when earlier also we used to have trade with Iran. So this kind of dialogue is a game changer when India is badly being hit by the power crisis, the energy crisis, and the tariffs altogether, because a major share comes from Iran, and India is a big country. So to run the democratic country like India, I think this kind of thing is a welcome change. Otherwise, India is going to face severe economic crisis, which we already see by the costs of barrels going up. So let's see if Pahlavi is positioning himself as Plan B. If India won't reply back to him openly tomorrow, but in future, I think if he comes to government, then we can have better ties with him.
Indeed.
So it is basically hedging.
Lieutenant Colonel Himanshi Singh, thank you very much for taking the time and joining us. It's always a pleasure to speak to you. We now move on over